Liquid Biofuels by Jackson and Eduardo. What makes liquid biofuels renewable? Liquid biofuels are made from renewable resources such as soy, corn, wheat, etc., which are resources that can be used repeatedly and can be replaced naturally. Since they are made from something that is renewable, the biofuel itself is renewable because it only uses things that are able to replace themselves over time. How is it made? Liquid biofuels are made in a step-by-step process. First goes filtering. In this process, vegetable oil is filtered to remove all the food particles. Then goes the removing of water. All the water contained in the residual gangue has to be removed, which will make the reaction faster. Then the titration. This process is carried out to determine the amount of line that would be required. This process is the most crucial and the most important step. After goes the preparation of sodium methanoxide. In this process, methanol is mixed with sodium hydroxide to produce sodium methanoxide. Heating and mixing. The residue is heated in between 100 to 120 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, after which it is mixed well. It is most it should be remembered that process should be done carefully. Setting and separation. After mixing the liquid, it has to be allowed to cool down. After the cooling process, the biofuel will be found floating at the top, while the heavier stuff would be found at the bottom. Advantages of using liquid biofuels. Liquid biofuels are a renewable energy resource in that they are created from plants and can be regrown each year. Biofuels also do not require many changes, if any, in cars and other places of which they are used to be utilized. Some consider the use of biofuels as carbon neutral since the carbon produced when burning them is offset by the carbon consumed by the plants they came from. In the United States, biofuels can help reduce the dependence of foreign oils, which fluctuate in price rapidly. Biofuels may help to buffer against the change. Disadvantages of using biofuels. While some consider their use carbon neutral, the machinery required to farm the plants for biofuels does create carbon emissions. This machinery is also typically not powered by biofuels. Research suggests, despite this fact, that biofuels help to reduce carbon emissions by 50 to 60%. One of the main detractors to the use of biofuels is that setting aside land for biofuels means less land for food production. Some foreign countries have said that it is unethical to use crops for biofuel when global hunger is an ever present problem. What are some of the top sources of biofuels? Cellulose, 1.5 billion tons, could be used for harvesting biofuels in the US alone. Algal oil, because they're grown in water, they overcome some of the problems of other sources of biofuels. Competition for land. Corn, biggest biofuel in the US. Soy, produced using trans transesterification. Sugarcane, second most used biofuel in the US. Camellia and jatropha, plant-based biofuel sources. Rapeseed, aka canola oil, cheap and easy to produce, burns far cleaner than petroleum. Methane, natural gas used by an entire fleet of buses in Sweden. Animal fat, used in many industrial products, so no competition for resources. Paper waste, identified as a possible source of fuel, but a limited opportunity. Where are biofuels being used in the U.S.? Minnesota Governor Tim, whatever his name is, signed a bill on May 12, 2008, that will require all diesel fuel sold in the state for use in intern, internal combustion engines to contain at least 20% biodiesel by May 1st, 2015. Oregon Governor Ted signed legislation in July 2007 that will require all gasoline sold in the state to be blended with 10% bioethanol, a blend known as BE10, and all diesel fuel sold in the state to be blended with 2% biodiesel, a blend known as BD2. Oregon currently has the only biofuel stations in the country that can be used by any type of vehicle. And that is all.